Chris, as I like process through what that wrestling conversation could be like, and I think all of us can raise our hands to either situations that we've witnessed other people walk through, and you're like, but God, why didn't you stop it? Because He is all powerful, He is capable. And so that's why people get angry with God, right? Um, but I would suffice to say, with my own personal experience, that anything that has ever happened that's been like grotesque or bad or impossibly hard to understand or frustrating, all the emotions that are like not the things you want. Okay. That every single one of them, I have watched God turn for good. There's not been one that I haven't, even when it's not the way I choose for it to happen, even when it's not something that's pretty, even when I know the enemy was at play in many parts of that story. I watch his victory every single time. And I do think of Job in that regard. Like, of course, we don't want him to lose his family. Of course, we don't want him to lose anything that he's been given in God's covering and righteousness. And yet there was multiplication on the other side. There was renewal of relationships on the other side. There was other people's state of faith that was heightened and that they actually saw him as a good father. And I just I think about the fact that God is not concerned as much with the little moment of pain as he is with eternal salvation. That is just true. And that's what he's after. And so he might think, like, oh, yeah, the enemy is going to win this one momentarily. This is totally going to look like I didn't win here. But he's always going to be the victor every single time.
And this is going to be a hard discussion, but this is why I don't yell about abortion. Do I believe in abortion? No. But I think abortion is a symptom of a problem. We have too many people that stand outside an abortion clinic and yell at the mothers going in instead of being there when they come out. Like, you talk about that little bit. For me, I believe every one of those kids that have been aborted will be in heaven. My heart is for that mother that made a decision based on an indecision that she had in the bedroom, based on a lack of information that was given from people in her life, based on a decision that she feels like no one's there to help her walk through, based on a moment that she doesn't feel like she has the resources, finances, knowledge to be a mother, whatever it may be that leads her to a place of that decision to take that life. My heart cries out for that woman, that somebody wasn't there to help her along the way, that somebody wasn't there to speak life into her, that maybe somebody that wasn't there to take that child and say, you know what, if you feel insufficient to raise it, I will. There's a lot of people who yell at her and tell her she's going to hell for aborting her baby. There's not a lot of people who would line up and say, I'll take your kid for you. I'll take that burden to make sure it happens, because we want to point other people's wrongs out. But what if some of those hurts, those small pains, and it's a big pain when we see it, but has the position, the ability for the right person to be there when she walks out, to share that there's still love, grace, and mercy for you, to begin to open her eyes to see there's hope on the other side of this. That's hard, and that's why it continues to be a polarizing argument, and I think the church has taken the wrong approach. It's either you have to agree with it or you disagree with it, and we yell one side or the other, but I think it's so much more important than that. The problem is not the abortion. The problem is the lack of information, the processes that we've agreed to and allowed to happen in society that lead these women down this path to have to make this decision. And I think this is in life, is the church has to begin to operate differently. Just be different, just be there regardless of what's happening. So the things we don't have control over, how are we just pointing fingers, or are we really just saying, I want to be here in this moment?